Hello everyone, how you doing? I hope you're all doing really well today. I'm Lindsay, your host of the Heavy Metal Journal and writer for Lambgo and the Moshville Times, and I'm back with New Metal Monday, where I talk about my favourite new releases of the week. And it's just going to be a really quick video this week, as I only have 3 brand new albums that I want to talk about. Now, it wasn't that this week was particularly bad, or there was not that many releases or anything like that. I listened to a lot of albums this week, and a lot of them were good, but they were kind of like a one and done situation with me. And these 3 albums that I want to talk about today are the albums that I was repeatedly putting on and going back to time and time again. So yes, there are other great albums that have been released this week. However, they were kind of, like I said, a one and done situation, and it's not something that I would go back to ordinarily. But anyway, before we begin, check out the description box below, where you will find a Spotify playlist which will feature every single album that I talk about on my New Metal Monday videos, unless it is a Bandcamp only release, in which case I will get that noted. So if you use Spotify, make sure to follow that playlist, because I do update that every Monday when these videos go live. But thank you very much to the person who reminded me to do it last week, because I forgot. It's gonna happen. I do apologise, but if you don't find the albums on there, just give me a wee nudge and I'll get them on there as soon as possible. Now, if you don't use Spotify, don't worry about it, because I will also include the band's Bandcamp links or their YouTube channels, just so you guys can find the music that I'm talking about as easily and quickly as possible. But like I said, 3 brand new albums that I want to talk about, so let's just jump straight in. Okay, so first up on my list, I want to talk about Tribulation with Sub Rosa in Aeternum, and this is the 6th studio album from the Swedish gothic metal band. Now, if you haven't checked it out already, I have had the opportunity to speak to Adam of Tribulation recently, which will be linked up here somewhere, and we spoke about the new album and all things metal in general, and it's a really cool conversation. So make sure to check that out after this video, of course. But the thing that I really liked about this album is it is so richly melodic and ridiculously catchy. It is proper gothic metal, so it has all of that old school kind of gothic richness about it, but there's something incredibly addictive and dark about it. But the thing that really stood out to me the most was the introduction of primarily clean vocals throughout this entire record. And these clean vocals are very powerful, but they're very dark, gloomy and ominous, but they're incredibly powerful and emotive at the same time. But don't worry, because those trademark growls do make their appearance known throughout the record, but it is primarily clean vocals. Now, if that's something that you're kind of put off by, trust me when I say give it a chance, because it is a proper earworm of a record, and it's going to worm its way into your brain, and it's so addictively rich to listen to. The instrumentation is incredibly detailed, it's very intricate, but it's smooth at the same time. You've got all those really cool gothic guitars, you've got the really awesome drum rhythms, and it's very bassy, and it's just an absolute joy to listen to, and you cannot help yourself but listen to it over and over again, because it really just does suck you in. So if you are a fan of the likes of Typo Negative, Unto Others, Sisters of Mercy, that kind of sound, definitely get onto this. But don't worry, there's a sprinkling of their death metal roots throughout the record as well, just to keep things extra heavy, so definitely check it out. Okay, so next up on my list I have Eldingar with Lysistrata. It's either Lysistrata or Lysistrata, but it'll be on the screen somewhere down here if I've pronounced that completely incorrectly. And this is the 3rd studio album from the Greek black metal band. Now, this album is not for the faint of heart. It's a sprawling beast of a black metal record at 1 hour and 15 minutes long, and each track is at least 10 minutes long, if not a little bit longer. But it's a really cool album, because yes, it is incredibly black metal, so you have all of that black metal riffage, the blistering blast beats, and those really dissonant, rasping, venomous growls, but they also incorporate a lot of melodic death metal elements, pagan folk metal, progressive elements, and thrash metal elements in there as well. But this is an absolute joy to listen to, and even though it does have a lot of that rasping kind of venomous vocal style about it, there's also clean vocals with alternating styles, and you've also got female vocalizations throughout this as well as violins and acoustic guitars, spoken word word elements, and I'm assuming that the spoken word elements are in Greek. Do I understand what they're saying? Absolutely not. But do I find it enchanting and absolutely stunning? Yes, I do, and I loved that aspect of the record. This record is a masterpiece, and they incorporate themes of anti-war elements, and they also take inspiration from ancient Greek philosophy. So this is a very artistic yet brutally heavy, densely melodic, but very enticing record. So if you are a fan of the likes of Rotten Christ, Varathron, or Necromentia, this one is definitely for you. So it does have that kind of classic Hellenic sound about it, but it very much focuses on the black metal side of things with elements of death metal, melodic death, progressive elements, folk elements, and it's just an absolute joy to listen to. Loved everything about this. The artwork is absolutely incredible as well. Check it out. Okay, so last on my list, but certainly by no means least, I have the mighty Paganizer with Flesh Requiem, and this is the 13th studio album from the Swedish death metal band. Now, this record is incredible, and out of all of the records that I've listened to this week, this is the one that I keep going back to. This is proper, solid Swedish death metal at its absolute finest. It goes ridiculously hard. You have all of those massive riffs, flying solos, guttural growls throughout that sound like they're coming from the depths of hell itself. It is incredibly aggressive, and the blast beats are insane. The drums in this are so ridiculously thunderous, it's going to blow your ears off. But the thing that I really liked about this is it does have a lot of melody, but not enough melody for it to be considered a melodic death metal record. But there's none of that what I like to call pomp and pageantry. The melody and the dense atmosphere, and this is a ridiculously atmospheric record, comes from the guitars and the drums and the bass lines, and they create this wonderfully dark, ominous atmosphere about it. But there's also an underpinning of groove. You can't help but headbang along to this, and it has a few of those stompy stomp moments as well, and it's just a highly addictive, dark, ferociously aggressive and brutal record that's also quite groovy as well. So if you are a fan of the likes of Grave, Dismember, or if you liked last week's Sentient Horror record as well, this one is definitely for you. Plus, this is definitely my favourite album artwork of the week. This is incredible. It's so haunting and creepy, but there's a really cool beauty behind it as well. Definitely check this one out. I loved absolutely everything to do with this record. And that's it for this week's New Metal Monday. Once again, comment down below to let me know what you think of today's records. And if you have any of your own recommendations, please let me know and I will definitely get them checked out. There will only be a couple more New Metal Monday videos after this one because I have officially started work on my album of the year list. So just like last year, I will have 4 separate videos throughout the entirety of December, counting down my top 40 albums of the year. I love this time of year. It gets me really excited, and I love seeing everybody's choices for their album of the year, or their lists, whether that's a top 20, a top 40, a top 50. I've seen a top 100, but I'm trying to be very disciplined about it, and I'm trying to stick to my top 40 that I've done for the last couple of years. So I think there might be 2 New Metal Monday videos coming this month, and then after that it will be my top 40 albums of the year. But thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate you all as always, and I will see you very soon in my next video.